Those scenes weren't from a movie set. They're real, and they happen thousands of times every single winter. According to the Federal Highway Administration, over 1,300 people are killed, and more than 116,800 are injured in crashes on snowy, slushy, or icy roads in the U.S. every year. On top of that, nearly 900 more deaths happen during active snowfall or sleet. That's a staggering price to pay for a totally predictable seasonal hazard. But this isn't just about bad luck. It's about physics and psychology. It's about drivers who underestimate the power of ice and overestimate their own skills. In this video, we're doing more than just showing you the crashes. We are breaking down the dashcam footage to expose the most common and catastrophic mistakes drivers make. Think of this as a masterclass in what not to do when the roads get treacherous. By understanding why these disasters happen, you can make sure you're not the next one caught on camera. The Speed Demon's Gambit. The number one mistake, the cardinal sin of winter driving, is going way too fast. It's a simple formula: ice cuts down friction and speed multiplies the force of a crash. Those speed limits you see posted are for perfect, dry conditions. On an icy road, they're pure fantasy. Your vehicle can take up to 10 times longer to stop on snow and ice than it does on dry pavement. Let's look at some drivers who forgot that basic rule. Here we see a sedan in the left lane, zipping past other cars on a snow-dusted highway. The driver probably thinks their speed is fine because the road ahead looks clear. But watch what happens when they hit a gentle curve. The car starts a slow, lazy drift. The driver, likely panicking, taps the brakes. Wrong move. The back end swings out, and now they're just along for the ride. The car slides right into the path of a slower car, causing a collision that was 100% avoidable. This is a perfect example of why average freeway speeds can drop by as much as 40% in heavy snow for a good reason. This next clip is even more telling. A four-wheel drive SUV is barreling down a local road. The driver is probably feeling a false sense of security, thinking that all-wheel drive means all-wheel stop. It absolutely does not. As traffic ahead slows for a light, the SUV driver hits the brakes, but the vehicle just keeps on gliding forward on packed snow like it's on skates. The rear-end collision is forceful and destructive. All-wheel drive helps you get going in slick conditions, but it does next to nothing to help you stop any faster. This driver just learned that lesson the hard way. Now look at this. The road looks just a little wet, but the temperature is hovering right around freezing, the perfect recipe for black ice. This hatchback driver is coming up on an overpass, a structure that freezes way faster than the road itself. They keep their speed up, totally unaware of the invisible danger waiting for them. The second their tires hit that bridge, the vehicle snaps into a violent spin. There's no time to correct, no chance to recover. The car slams into the concrete barrier, completely shattering its front end. This is the devastating result of not adjusting for winter conditions. And here we get to witness pure arrogance in action. This pickup truck is aggressively tailgating a smaller car on a slushy road. The driver is impatient, flashing their lights, trying to bully the person in front to go faster. But when the lead car brakes gently, the truck has absolutely nowhere to go. The driver slams on the brakes. The ABS pulses like crazy, but it's useless. The truck's sheer weight and lack of stopping distance turn it into a battering ram. Rear-end collisions are the most common type of crash in these conditions, and this is exactly why. The recommended 3 to 4 second following distance on a dry road should be bumped up to at least 8 to 10 seconds on ice. This driver gave maybe 1 second, and they definitely paid the price. Finally, a simple loss of control on a country road. This driver isn't flying, but they are going too fast for this specific corner. As they go into the turn, the car's rear loses traction. The driver's gut reaction is to jerk the wheel in the opposite direction, a critical mistake called overcorrection. This yanks the car's momentum violently the other way, sending it skidding off the road and into a ditch. The right move is to look and steer smoothly where you want the car to go. Panicking and yanking the wheel is a guaranteed way to lose all control. With speed being a major factor in so many winter wrecks, these clips are a blunt reminder that on an icy road, the gas pedal is your biggest enemy. The domino effect, chain reactions, and pileups. One tiny mistake on a busy highway can explode into a massive, multi-car catastrophe in the blink of an eye. These huge pileups are the stuff of nightmares, trapping dozens of people in a tangled mess of steel. And they're almost always chaos. Ed by the same things we've been talking about: speed, tailgating, and zero situational awareness, all amplified on a massive scale. 24% of all weather-related vehicle crashes happen on pavement covered in snow, slush, or ice. Watch this scene unfold on a major interstate. Visibility is terrible because of blowing snow. A single semi-truck, maybe going just a few miles per hour too fast, starts to jackknife. The trailer swings out, blocking every lane of traffic. The cars right behind the truck have a few seconds to react. The first one stops in time. The second one slides and just glances off the first. But behind them, a wave of destruction is barreling down. Driver after driver, blinded by the snow and following way too close, plows right into the growing wreckage. You can see the panic. Cars swerving into the median, into each other, anywhere to avoid the impact. In less than a minute, a dozen vehicles are caught up in it. This is the domino effect in its most terrifying form. This next clip is a masterclass in how not to react to a hazard. We're riding along with a dash cam as the driver comes over a small hill. Up ahead, a pileup is already happening. The driver with the dash cam does the right thing at first. They start slowing down immediately. But look at the rearview camera. A tanker truck is bearing down from behind, clearly going way too fast to stop. Our driver has a split-second decision to make. They swerve onto the shoulder, just barely avoiding being crushed between the truck and the cars ahead. The tanker plows into the stopped traffic, creating a second, more violent wave of impacts. In situations like this, your mirrors are just as important as your windshield. You have to know about the threats in front of and behind you. Here's a pileup caused by a single moment of not paying attention on a bridge. Once again, a patch of black ice is what kicks it all off. A single car loses control and hits the barrier. Traffic behind it starts to slow down and stop. But a driver a quarter-mile back is looking at their phone or maybe just distracted. They look up too late. They slam on the brakes, but on the icy surface, the vehicle doesn't even slow down. It just becomes an unguided missile, sliding right into the last car in the line. The force of that impact shoves the whole line of cars forward, setting off a chain reaction of rear-end collisions. One person's negligence put everyone in danger. This is why a safe following distance is non-negotiable. It buys you the time and space to react when the driver in front of you, or the one behind you, messes up. That last pileup was absolutely devastating, just a cascade of errors that led to total chaos. It brings up a tough question. Who do you think was really at fault for starting that chain reaction? Was it the first car that spun out on the ice, or the distracted driver who slammed into the back of the line? Let us know what you think in the comments. And while you're down there, if you're learning something from these cautionary tales, do us a favor and hit that like button. It really helps out the channel. Black ice, the invisible killer. Of all the winter hazards, none is more sneaky than black ice. It's not actually black. It's a super thin, totally transparent layer of ice that makes the road look just a little wet. This invisibility is what makes it so deadly. It loves to form on bridges, overpasses, and shady spots where the pavement is colder than the air. Drivers are often caught completely by surprise, and the consequences are catastrophic. This clip is a perfect example. We're on a two-lane road around dusk. The pavement looks damp, nothing more. The driver of this minivan is traveling at a reasonable speed, looking like they're doing everything right. As they enter a shaded curve, the vehicle suddenly and violently snaps sideways. There was no warning, no sign of ice. The driver is now in a full, unrecoverable skid. The van slides across the center line and directly into the path of an oncoming car. The head-on impact is severe. This whole thing, from the start of the skid to the crash, takes less than 3 seconds. That driver had zero chance to react to a danger they couldn't even see. Here's another classic black ice trap, a highway off-ramp. Ramps are often elevated and exposed, so they freeze up fast. This driver is braking for the sharp curve on the ramp. The moment their tires hit the invisible ice, the brakes lock, and the steering wheel becomes useless. The car plows straight ahead instead of turning, smashing right through the guardrail and plunging down the embankment. Panic braking is one of the worst things you can do in a skid because it guarantees you'll lose control. The expert advice is to ease off the brake and the gas and steer smoothly where you want to go. But when ice hits you by surprise, instinct often takes over with disastrous results. Look closely at this security camera footage from a parking lot. A car is driving slowly, just looking for a spot. The surface looks totally clear. As the driver makes a slow turn, the car just starts sliding. Even at only 5 miles per hour, the driver has no control. The car slides sideways until it bumps into a parked vehicle, causing a surprising amount of damage for such a low speed. This shows just how treacherous black ice is. It removes almost all friction between your tires and the road. This is why around 156,000 crashes are blamed on icy roads in the US every year, many of them on surfaces that drivers thought were perfectly safe. This onboard camera shows just how sensitive a car becomes on black ice. The driver is on a straight road and sees flashing lights up ahead from an accident. They wisely start to slow down, but even the tiny steering adjustment they make to move over causes the car to start fishtailing. The driver does a pretty good job trying to correct it, steering into the skid, but the surface is just too slick. The car eventually spins a full 180 degrees before landing in a snowbank. They avoided a second crash, but just barely. It's a terrifying reminder that any sudden move, braking, accelerating, or steering, can start a skid on black ice. Smooth and gentle is the only way to play it. Our final clip here shows a driver who almost saves it. They hit black ice on a bridge and the car starts to rotate. The driver correctly steers into the skid, and for a second it looks like they might just pull it off. But then they overcorrect just a tiny bit, and the car's momentum whips it back the other way, sending them into the guardrail. Getting out of a skid on ice is a delicate dance. It takes a calm head and a smooth touch, two things that are really hard to find when your car suddenly decides to go sideways toward disaster. Common blunders and bad habits. Beyond the big two, speed and black ice, a whole bunch of other bad habits and simple screw-ups add to the winter carnage. These are the unforced errors, the moments where a lack of preparation or a lapse in judgment turns a manageable situation into a wreck. First up, the peephole driver. You've all seen them. It snowed overnight, and this person only cleared a tiny circle on their windshield, just big enough to squint through. Their side windows, rear window, and even their headlights are totally covered in snow. As this driver pulls out of an intersection, they are completely blind to the car coming from their right. The T-bone collision was basically guaranteed to happen. Failing to properly clear off your vehicle isn't just lazy, it's incredibly dangerous. You're driving in a bubble with no situational awareness. Next, we have the cruise control casualty. This footage comes from a driver on a long, straight highway with some light, blowing snow. To make the drive easier, they've turned on cruise control. The problem? Cruise control is designed to maintain a constant speed. When the car hits a small, slick patch, the wheels slip, the car slows for a millisecond, and the system automatically gives it more gas to get back to speed. That sudden burst of power to wheels that have no traction is a recipe for disaster. As you see here, the car instantly spins out, crossing 2 lanes of traffic before hitting the median. Never, ever use cruise control on roads that could be slick. You need to be in total control of the power going to your wheels. Here's an all-too-common mistake, putting too much faith in technology. The driver of this expensive-looking SUV with all-wheel drive is driving like the roads are bone dry. They come up on a stopped school bus with its lights flashing and hit the brakes way too late. The ABS system chatters away, but the SUV just slides right past the bus and through the intersection. The driver thought their fancy vehicle could defy physics. They were wrong. Technology like ABS and all-wheel drive can help, but they cannot create traction where there isn't any. Your brain is, and always will be, the most important safety feature in your car. Finally, we see what happens when you neglect your car. This driver is trying to stop on a slight downhill slope. While other cars are managing to slow down, this one slides helplessly into the one in front. The cause? Bald tires. Worn-out tires with no tread have no way to channel away slush and water, and no biting edges to grip the ice. Your tires are the only part of your car that actually touches the road. Driving into winter with bald tires is like trying to run on an ice rink in dress shoes. Add in underinflated tires, which can increase your stopping distance, and you're just setting yourself up for failure. We've seen it all: catastrophic pileups, the silent threat of black ice, and the simple, foolish mistakes that turn cars into junk. The lesson in every single one of these clips is exactly the same. Winter demands your respect. It demands that you slow down, that you give yourself a ton of extra following distance, and that why. Oh, stay hyper-aware of what's happening around you at all times. The numbers are grim, representing thousands of lives changed forever because of a bad decision on a winter road. The drivers in these videos became unwilling case studies in what can go wrong. Let their mistakes be your lesson. The most advanced safety system in the world is a driver who is patient, prepared, and paying attention. If this video made you think twice about how you drive in the winter, subscribe and hit the bell so you don't miss our next compilation of lessons learned the hard way. Stay safe out there and drive smart.